This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Despite assurances that schools are safe for classes to resume, parents of students of C.W. Sawyer and Sybil Strawn Primary have lingering concerns over a number of issues. Our B.J. McDermott has the story.
An early morning pickup for C.W. Sawyer students who today returned to classes following a 2-day break over mold, rat, and structural issues. Adding to that is the fact that some parents say that they haven't been updated on any of the concerns.
They said it was mold in the school and the teachers were getting sick and also some of the students was getting sick and the fixtures in the restroom for the girls and boys wasn't functioning properly.
But according to Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson, mold's no longer an issue at the Yellow Elder Gardens campus.
What the teachers would have done at C.W. Sawyer today is they did a cursory assessment. So they know that there's some cleaning has been done. Yes, some ceiling tiles have been replaced. However, there was some cracking in the tiles and we're concerned about the structural part of the school. Then we would have received the mold report, the testing report, and I would have sent it on to a private company to analyze it so that they can give us their views as to what has been tested, if the testing was done, was it done deeply enough, and is it safe.
Now, as for Sybil Strawn Primary's scabies outbreak, Mrs. Wilson says as far as she can see, that situation has also been resolved.
The teachers and the union were very pleased at the manner in which the principal has dealt with this health issue, because he was in constant contact not only with the Ministry of Education but also with the Ministry of Health and their nurses and their team. So today, the classes are being cleaned by the janitorial staff, and the teachers will be tested. Some were tested last week. The remainder of the teachers will be tested today. So we hope that the testing will be completed today and that the cleaning will be completed, and so that tomorrow morning school will be able to run smoothly.
Furthermore, teachers are being tested for the highly contagious infestation. At this point, there have been no such confirmed cases. Mrs. Wilson's calling on the ministry to continue talks with the union. Reporting for JCN News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
The board and management of the Water and Sewage Corporation taken aback by comments Bahamas Utilities and Allied Workers Union President Dwayne Woods made during a press briefing this past Friday. Seeking to set the record straight on the issue was the corporation's chairman, Adrian Gibson.
Frankly, much of the rabble-rousing scene is due to one man simply not wanting to return to work. Given the same, we will now address each issue raised by Mr. Woods. Firstly, Mr. Woods has asserted that the board and management is rolling back benefits agreed to in the industrial agreement. Nothing could be further from the truth. At no point has WSC's management sought to vary or abrogate its agreement with the union. We are guided by the Industrial Relations Act. And as an attorney, I can tell you that strict adherence to the agreement is consistently and persistently emphasized by me.
Further spilling the beans, Mr. Gibson pointed out that unlike any other union president in the Bahamas, Mr. Woods has been on administrative leave, which has come at a great cost to the Bahamian taxpayer. The chairman added that Mr. Woods draws a salary of approximately $60,000 per year, accrued vacation leave, accrued sick leave, and enjoys all the other benefits without ever coming to work.
Woods has not performed a day's work for WSC in years. In addition to drawing his free salary from WSC, Mr. Woods pays himself an additional $2,000 or so as the union president. The union also pays for other perks such as cell phone, airfare whenever and wherever he travels, and we are told, gasoline for his vehicles. What's more, in the past, Mr. Woods was even paid a proficiency pay by WSC, was astoundingly paid a partial increment in 2013, was paid and has requested increments and additional benefits. He has also requested promotions and upward mobility. This is all while having no job description and therefore being unable to have his performance evaluated in the absence of any WSC job-related performance activities.
This, he says, was brought to the union president's attention in a letter dated May 9th, 2016. The chairman added that Mr. Woods responded to that letter on June 16th, 2016, saying that he should get increments on several grounds: the promotion of industrial harmony, supporting a 5-year industrial agreement, conducting the process of the collective bargaining on behalf of the union, and minimizing strike action in 5 years.
Mr. Woods proffered a total of 21 reasons then. Those are just a few that I listed above. By response, the then GM wrote him on the 25th June 2016 stating, quote, "The significant majority of the activities outlined in your letter to justify an enhanced increment are associated with your position as union president, and for which WSC already granted you the benefit of leave. Therefore, management cannot justify or support additional increment." On the 22nd of February 2017, Mr. Woods wrote to request that a clause be included in his administrative leave to be given to the incoming board to state, quote, that the president will participate in all benefits that applies to him as a regular full-time permanent employee under the collective bargaining agreement.
That said, Mr. Gibson says the board has consulted its attorneys to strike out the union's writ of summons to the matter stated. He also re-emphasized that WSC does not intend to impede Mr. Woods in performing his union duties. However, he's to return to the job. Opposition Senator Fred Mitchell sharing his views on the country's finances, and as far as he's concerned, there are certain things the country should be doing in terms of its investment in infrastructure and small businesses.
My view is that, $250 million or so should be set aside for venture capital from the government. My view is the Nassau airport needs to be expanded again because it is too small for what it does. My view is those airports in the Family Islands must be completed. It's ridiculous when you see what happens in North Eleuthera during when New Year's comes. My view is, or Exuma, and my view is the platform, the digital platform on which we're operating is falling apart. Telephone calls are dropping. No one's looking at telecommunications and data in this country. It's time now to move to 5G. There's no talk about investment in that and what's going to happen in the future. All of these things will make this country competitive and grow in the future.
Furthermore, he's holding to his party's conviction that the fiscal responsibility legislation is rubbish. The legislation reinforces transparency and responsibility in managing the government's finances. It's also aimed at holding the government accountable for achieving its fiscal targets and objectives. This as the Minnis administration sets out to balance the budget. But according to the PLP senator, this comes at a cost of raising taxes and implementing a rash of cutbacks.
When Perry Christie was the prime minister, IMF came and said, you have to raise taxes. And he said, no, I'm not going to raise taxes. I'm not going to do it. Because I'm not going to inflict any more taxes on the Bahamian public. I'm simply not going to do it. I am going to deal with deficit, and I'm going to deal with expansion by simply growing this economy. Now, unfortunately, others are suing now the big project that, they fought against and said it was a mirage and it was a bad deal and so on and so forth. Now they're crowing to the rafters, talking about Baha Ma, the Baha Ma project here in New Providence. Now they're crowing to the rafters about how successful it is and how great it is and so on and so forth.
Mr. Mitchell was at the time appearing as a guest on the JCN Love 97 weekly talk show, Jones & Company. Our final segment is up next.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.